Don't touch them, kids. They don't sell them anymore.
I've never seen one before.
I think it was probably 5 years ago they were doing a fundraiser for Ron Donovan.
I believe we're good to go, sir.
All righty, let's go ahead and call the July 6, 2026 Tipton Utility Board meeting to order. The first item on the agenda, the minutes from the previous meeting.
Move to approve the minutes as submitted.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as submitted. Any comments, discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now we'll move to claims.
Make a motion, we pay claims 28,039 through 28,112 for $904,713.26.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to pay claims as submitted. Any further discussion about that? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I think we're up to you, sir.
Okay, sent out the May financials, about 86,000 higher from a year ago. So that also incorporates quite a few investments we made on the water side in the past year. Nothing else of note really, just seems to be trending in the right direction. Water and sewer holding their own, but hopefully we get a little more recovery of that. Granted, the ordinance gets passed in the next few weeks. Any questions on the financials? And then I pointed out in my email when I sent them out that we did come to resolution finally with the new owner of the Steel Parks building. The power had been shut off for a couple months, and they had a need to show the building to a government official that's going to help them maybe get money to invest in the place or sell it or something. So we got our money and they got the power turned on, and I think we're squared away for now. So that was
Good.
that'll make the delinquent report next meeting look a lot better.
And power's off to that building?
Yes, yes. Just a few other updates. We did have safety training on Wednesday, the 24th, was electrical arc flash and predominantly attended by the electric folks, as you can imagine. I did attend the June 26th IMPA board meeting, and I shared with you that one of the items they talked about was the Governor Braun was pretty upset with the IURC, who he had changed that board. I think it's a 5-member board, and he had made some changes, changed the chairmanship in hopes of, being stronger against the investor-owned utilities and their continued rate increases. Well, they just approved, even though it was a modest rate increase, they approved one, and the governor was not happy about that, and I believe the chairman has already stepped down, and they're rearranging the chairs on the IURC. So that was the probably biggest takeaway I had from my MPA board meeting. Wastewater sewer use ordinance. We've got some progress there. I got comments back from the folks at IDEM, Indiana Department of Environmental Management, and we're now squaring those up to where probably, I don't think it'll be in the next meeting, but the first meeting in August, I'll have a resolution ready for the utility board to adopt the changes. There's a half a dozen. It's pretty straightforward, but I will furnish you a copy with the red line and a copy of the new sewer use ordinance, provided you guys approve the resolution, and that will be a recommendation to city council to then adopt the changes, because it is an ordinance. And I've been bothering the city council for a little bit already, so I want to give them a little breathing room between that and what we're going through now. So
I would assume that the general gist is the same. It's just the verbiage maybe updated.
there's some financial changes in there. What happens, Don, is we get a NPDES permit renewal every 5 years, and somehow they caught on the permit and the sewer use ordinance, a couple of the numbers weren't jiving on we have the ability to find industrial users if they aren't meeting certain standards, and just stuff like that. So it'll be very apparent when I send out the red line.
Thank you.
So be on the lookout for that. Probably, like I said, the first meeting in August would be my goal. I sent out a map. Let's go out west, out to the water plant out west. The patch development is moving forward pretty quickly. In fact, I just got a set of updated drawings an hour ago, and they're putting all their permit information together to go to the county to make their next steps. As part of that, they're going to need, extend utilities from us, water and sewer. Well, sewer is already right there, so they'll just connect in, but water gets extended, and then electrical will get extended. One thing myself and the water guys were discussing, though, is think out 20, 30, 40 years. What if we need more water? Where are we going to get water? Because the 3 wells that are operating out there are right there on our property within 200 feet of each other. And we know for a fact there was a really productive test well right on the southern edge of what's now the patch development. And instead of fouling up everything that they've accomplished, and it would make better sense if we could get if we had to put a new well in 25 years from now, if it was on our current property or very nearby in an east or west direction. So we met with Tim Hill of Peerless Midwest. He does all our well work. You guys have seen him and see his handiwork in all the reports we get each year. Anyway, we talked about a couple options to drill a test well, and one of those would be to the west of our property on the RDC owned property. And I presented the same information to RDC President Tracy Powell and said, hey, put me on the agenda. I want to at least get permission from the RDC to, access the site, drill a test well, if that's where we end up deciding to do it. And it takes a day to do it, no more than 2 days. He took the information, and I'm going to get on the agenda for July 15th. So
when you look at that map, the ones that are on that north property,
yep,
TWO 7B and 7C,
yes,
one of those was the best well we drilled.
that's right. Very
There's
productive.
no way to keep that area.
We could be.
I know
And I wouldn't say it's a last resort. If we can find a similar well to the east or west of our current plant, I think it would be better. But if we do a couple test wells and we hit not very productive, then I think I'm going to have a different conversation with the patch folks in the county and say, hey, we need to protect this for the utility of the future. Yes, ideally that would be, Mark.
And then where you're proposing the other 2 wells, they're on the redevelopment commission owns both of those, owns the property to the west of the water.
They own the front woods, and then there's a lady even close to 31 that owns the other. We would be on the RDC property. We're thinking of putting one right just inside the fence on the eastern edge of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're talking about maybe going directly east of the plant towards County Road 560 and maybe drilling one out in front of the plant. So
But the old Chrysler property is to the south.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, it makes more sense to get away from that area, because you're depleting the reservoir or sand sink. So to me,
It was all sort of the same aquifer as what I remember, but
I asked that question, and they said it usually is not a problem, but they also said a couple of those wells that weren't very far away from where we're at didn't produce anything. So I don't know. It's kind of a hit and miss game. I don't think they have tools and techniques to figure out what's down there unless they poke a hole in the ground.
I think this one was the best well out of all the drilled.
Yeah, that's the one on the inside the patch development. So
The 7C mark, or
I was thinking that it was the B.
The B.
7B were both pretty good, and one of them was better than the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they drilled one.
I think the other thing, if you think about 15 15, 20 years down the road, probably needing to connect the city with the,
Mhm.
with the new tower, then it gives you a lot more area to draw from too, right? You can
I think they're different aquifers.
push
What I
water in different
remember.
areas.
Yeah, they're different aquifers, but to Pete's point, if we ever get the whole system connected, then we can say, well, it really doesn't matter where we get the water from. It could be miles away and get it in as long as we get it to the treatment plant. I mean, obviously you want to be as close to the plant as possible because that's different pipeline of raw water coming in than what's getting treated and sent out to the system, regardless if you're in the city or the west area. So let me see if I can get permission from the RDC on the 15th and come back to you. I'm waiting on some pricing to what it would take to do a test well and how to handle that as well. So
So you're saying that on at lot K,
Mhm.
Yeah,
those-
yep.
but we know these other test wells, 7D, 70, those we already did.
yes, back in
Yeah, okay.
probably 15, 20 years ago, those were completed before we built the treatment plant. Okay.
Okay.
Stay tuned. A few more updates. I think before the meeting started, somebody was asking about the ball fields. Looks like things are moving there. I'm not sure our water line's been connected. I sent an email in to them to say where you at. It's been a couple months from what was decided would be done, and I haven't heard back on that. It's pretty minor in the scheme of things, the ball fields, but for us, it's pretty important. So. If you're out by Love's anytime, you'll notice the new speedway being constructed and foundations are being poured. They'll be coming out of the ground pretty soon. And they have yet to connect to TMU sewer and water at this point. But as far as we know, we're right there next to them. And it's their responsibility to find our stuff, connect to it, tie it in. And then I mentioned the patch development, have really good conversations with their engineering firms and their development people and the county. So things seem to be forging ahead in a very positive manner out there. And as I understand, they would like to break ground this fall. So they're putting packages together to get final approvals from the county and then be able to bid the construction work out.
Very good.
Yep. Next meeting, 2 weeks from today, same time. Glad to take any other questions.
Any members of the board have anything for Jim? Any questions, comments?
I have a comment. So, I appreciate the work you guys did with the steel parts or the old steel parts to handle that delinquent account. So,
Yes, thank you.
and you and I talked a little bit about that LIHEAP
Low income
resource.
housing.
Yeah, so I definitely appreciate the work you guys and Emily do to connect customers with support.
Yep.
I think it's really important. I've asked a few people that are in the same business of supporting the communities if they knew anything about that, and they did not. So one resource that we might have, not us to do for them, but we could direct any community members that need that support at the Kokomo Rescue Mission, their new engagement center that they just had a grand opening for. They also serve Tipton County, and they would be able to help people do the application. So
Okay.
we could let people, 'cause we're already letting customers know there's resources out there to support it.
Yep.
And now we could send them to the engagement center at the Kokomo Rescue Mission to get your application in so that if somebody were to need more help, that's a place they can follow up.
Sounds great. I will track down some contact information and get that in
I'll
front of
get it for you.
Emily.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll give
perfect.
it to you.
Thank you.
I didn't realize that they were supporting Tipton County also in that engagement center. So I think that's exciting.
Absolutely.
Great. Anyone else have anything? Okay, we'll open it up to the crowd. Don't everybody fight to run and go first. So,
You got anything for us, Bob?
no? Councilman Joe? Any questions? Well, it's a thin, it's a thin. Okay.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Made quick work.